Please welcome President and Chief Marketing Officer, Salesforce, Patrick Stokes.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Connections 2026. Holy cow, what a city you have here. This place is beautiful. Welcome to Chicago. I mean, I can't believe it. The weather, it's not too hot. It's not too cold. I feel like Goldilocks. The buildings, the river, the lake. You know, I live in New York, but if I had to live any other place, I think I would live right here in Chicago. It's a really incredible city. Now, you're going to be mad in a second. Now that I've said a couple nice things about Chicago, I want everybody to say something with me. It's just 3 words. It's really easy. You ready? Knicks in 6. You want to try it together? No? No? All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. We got a big day for you here today. And of course, we got to start the way that we always do, and that is thanking you. Thank you to all of our customers. This room looks so great with all of our customers, our partners, our employees that are here with us today. We've got our trailblazers. I always love seeing our trailblazers over here, our admins, developers, and architects. Thank you all for being with us. We know that your time is valuable, and we really appreciate and don't take it for granted that you've chosen to come and spend it with us this morning. So thanks so much for that. Now, we have a lot to talk about. We have a lot of technology to talk about, a lot of change, a lot of technology to show you. And so I don't think there's ever been a better time to just take a step back, slow down for a second, and reflect on our core values. Not just Salesforce's core values, but all of your values as part of the Salesforce ecosystem, these values of trust, customer success, innovation, equality, and sustainability. You know, these are built into the very way that we run Salesforce, the way that we build our software, the way that we interact with all of you, our amazing customers. In fact, it's built into the very way that we operate the business. You know, when Mark and Parker started Salesforce 27 years ago from a small little apartment, actually like the closet of a small little apartment in San Francisco, they did it with this idea. They called it the 1-1-1 model, this idea that business can be the greatest platform for change, where we give back 1% of our time, our equity, and our product into the local community. And in that time, over 27 years, our ecosystem in Salesforce has raised over almost $1 billion, which is really an incredible number when you think about it. But what's so inspiring and I think so important right now is about 1/3 of all of that has been given back to local schools, local reskilling programs, which I think is just super, super important right now. We're all learning this new technology as we go. We're all learning how it's changing and impacting our roles and how we're going to work differently in the future. And if you're like me, you might have some young kids and you're thinking a lot about what is it going to mean for them as they come up into the workforce as well. So I think it's never been more important to be giving back to our local schools. Now, it can be hard to run a company the size that we do while having all of this impact, but we think that you can do well while doing good at the same time, and that evidence is right there on this slide, this incredible growth trajectory that we've been on. But that word "we" there is really important. We're proud of this, of course, but it's really because of all of you. It's because of our customers that we have been able to grow the way that we do. Now, one of the coolest things I think about Salesforce, and I've been here a pretty long time, about 15 years, maybe a little over 15 years, one of the things that has always kind of kept me motivated is that our mission has been the same the entire time. It is a durable mission. It doesn't matter what's happening in the world. It doesn't matter what's happening with technology, and there is a lot happening right now, but our mission has always been the same. Our mission is to help you all, our customers, connect with your customers in a whole new way. That's what we're constantly trying to do. Every piece of technology, every new feature, new product that you see from us, it's really just trying to do that, to try to help you connect with your customers in a new way. And I think you'll see that today as we move forward. Now, we've been doing this over 27 years with, of course, our Customer 360 platform. This is our platform of best-in-class applications like Agentforce Sales, Agentforce Service, Marketing. You're going to hear a lot about marketing today, commerce, and of course, it's all built on this unified platform, bringing together your data, bringing together your AI models, all of your industry customization sitting on top. It's a trusted platform. You've trusted it for 27 years. It's open, truly headless now. If you've been following our headless announcements, really an amazing platform for connecting with your customers. Now, I want to talk a little bit about marketers, or not a little bit, actually. We want to spend more or less the rest of the day talking about marketers. And, I'm a marketer. You heard on the speaker there in my introduction, I'm a marketer. And what I think is so interesting about marketers is we're creative. We wake up every single day and we have ideas. Sometimes a lot of ideas, sometimes too many ideas. Good ideas, sometimes great ideas, sometimes really stupid ideas. I have a lot of those ideas. And the problem with those ideas is not the stupid ideas. That's not actually the problem. The problem is that we can't move fast enough. The problem is that I can't take my good ideas and get them out there fast enough. And my bad ideas, I can't find out. I can't realize that they're bad ideas fast enough, right? That's the whole key, is ship everything, figure out what works, figure out what doesn't work. That's really how marketers want to work. But it's tough. We're being crushed. We're being stuck by all of these things. We've got limited resources. Everybody feels that. We've got too many approvals because in a lot of cases, the cost of failure is just a little bit too high. It's too high to really enable all of this creativity that we'd like to bring into our organizations. We've got siloed data. We might have to work a little bit too much with IT to get things done. Just dependencies. Of course, we all love working with them, but just these dependencies, it all adds up, and it's all it's all stopping that creativity that we all want to achieve as marketers. And so we asked ourselves, what if that wasn't true? What if we were free to just make? What if we were free to just make stuff, to be creative, to ship those ideas, to get them out faster than ever before? What would we be able to do? Well, we think that we can do this. We think that there is an amazing opportunity sitting right in front of us. We think that this new technology, this new AI intelligence in the form of AI agents, we think that it is going to create an opportunity to multiply all of your impact, to multiply all of your creativity if deployed right. And we're going to show you what all of that looks like today. Now, at Salesforce, we've been doing this. We've been doing this for the better part of 18 months, maybe 2 years. We've been becoming what we call an Agentic Enterprise. And this is this idea, you may have heard of it from us before already. This is this idea of we're looking across our entire business, and we're trying to find ways to take our humans and put them together with agents to multiply their impact. Humans and agents working together to drive more success, to drive more creativity. That's ultimately what we're trying to do. And I want to tell you 3 quick stories of my own time on this. I'm a CMO of Salesforce. We're a big company. We're largely a B2B company. We're going to talk about quite a few B2C examples today as well. But for the moment, I want to tell you what this looks like inside of Salesforce. So the first thing is Salesforce, our number one marketing channel, like many B2B companies, is our website. That is the most important channel. People come to our website from search or they come from an ad. They're looking for something. They have some sort of intent. Maybe they have a problem and they're looking for an answer. Maybe they are interested in a product and they want to learn more about it. Maybe they already know quite a bit about the product and they're ready to buy it. Well, capturing that intent and converting it is something that we've all been trying to do and working on and optimizing for as marketers for the better part of 25 years. But it's complicated on a website. You've got to navigate, you've got to get them to the right page, you've got to put the right form in front of them. That form has to have minimal friction so that they can actually sign up and you can kind of capture that lead. But then even that lead, it's not fully qualified yet. You're probably going to send it off to a human being who's going to try to qualify that lead. And we said, what if we could just compress all of that? And now we can. We went out and we found this company, Qualified. They are now part of Salesforce. You're going to hear a lot from Qualified today. And we put this on our website. We've got this new agent now on our website called Piper. And what Piper does is as you visit our website, we capture that intent, we start talking, but we do more than just create a lead, we qualify it as well. So when the salesperson is ready to talk, we know what they're looking for. We know exactly what they're after. This has been incredible. We've been converting 68% more of our conversions into fully qualified leads and ultimately pipeline that goes into our system, and that's really the ultimate goal. So did that on our website. And the really cool part, which you'll see later, is we did it in just 37 days. We put this together in 37 days, and it wasn't just an IT project. It was IT working with marketing. Marketing had to be part of that making process because it's really the full pipeline to pipeline. I didn't do that on purpose. It just came out. Second, now we're going to talk about something really sexy, the most modern marketing channel in the world, our 1-800 number. Now you laugh, but you all have one. You all have one too. You all have a number on your website, and people call it again, sometimes to get help, sometimes to because they want to buy. And so we said, this 1-800 number that we have right now, the way all of yours works is there's probably an IVR system. You press certain numbers, and then if you're lucky, you get to a human being. But the human beings can't be there all the time because there's only so many hours in a day. And we said, what if we could put Agentforce up there? What if you could call and just talk to Agentforce and get the help that you need, or even get connected to a seller in the form of a qualified lead? And we put this up. It's now handling 100% of our calls, and it has been a real game changer for us. But again, marketing had to be really tightly involved. You can't just put it up and hope it's all going to work out. You have to be thinking about it every day, retuning it, looking at how it's communicating with your customers. It's really becoming this kind of brand channel now, this customer experience layer that traditionally we've just been able to be, the humans got it, but now there's agents there, just like on our website, and we have to think about that through the customer experience lens. Now, the third leg of marketing for us, and this is one that I think you'll all be a little bit more familiar with because you're at one today, is our events. We do a lot of events at Salesforce. If you see me a lot, it's because we do a lot of events at Salesforce. And so as we've been building out all these events, we have been experimenting with new experiences for you all. You've seen maybe Agentforce in our Dreamforce app. Maybe you've seen it in the Connections app. You'll see it coming up for some of our other events. But we had this idea, or more specifically, one of our partners had this idea. We said, what if we could bring this together to run the Bottle Rock Festival? Now, Bottle Rock is this amazing festival out in Napa Valley, a bunch of amazing bands. It's kind of like your Lollapalooza, although I think maybe for adults. Although I don't know what Lollapalooza, 15-year-old Patrick was psyched about Lollapalooza. And this is now handling over 85% of the inquiries. We built this in just a few weeks. It's this agent called Melody built on Agentforce, and so every single Bottle Rock attendee basically got a festival concierge right in their pocket in just a few weeks. Really incredible. It handled over 37,000 unique interactions. Now, speaking of Bottle Rock and Lollapalooza, they're both run by this company called Live Nation, and we are lucky enough today to have John Glickstein here from Live Nation. John, maybe you could join me for just a second.
We're going to get you to Lollapalooza.
We're going to Lollapalooza? When is Lollapalooza?
Last weekend of July. So.
Last weekend of July. Is it hot here?
Sure.
Awesome. I'll come. So we did this pretty darn quickly, almost irresponsibly. There wasn't like a strong product, requirements document. It was just kind of an idea and a dream. But how did we do it?
Yeah. Well, we saw a real opportunity with Bottle Rock. I mean, Bottle Rock is a festival where people go for a lot more than the music. They go for the food, the wine, the hospitality experiences. There's a lot of moving parts and a lot going on. And we saw that there was a real opportunity to make that experience easier through providing them answers to questions in terms of planning, pre-planning, logistics, et cetera. So with the partnership with Salesforce and the work that we were doing with Agentforce, we thought it was a perfect environment to bring that to Bottle Rock to help to create a more seamless experience and really just reduce some of the friction that fans may experience going into the festival.
Did it work?
It sure worked. Yeah, it was great. It was terrific.
Fans liked it?
Fans had a great time. The music was great. And
Amazing.
We saw a lot of interaction. I think we had 18,000 unique interactions with Agentforce, over 40,000 overall back and forth. So it was a really great experience.
Amazing. What would you say your biggest surprise or maybe even shock was, through the build process and then ultimately getting it live?
Well, the 30 days was a tight time frame. We were somewhat surprised, but I think just given the deep partnership with Salesforce and the way in which the teams collaborate, it wasn't too much of a surprise. Everybody really rolled up their sleeves to make this happen. I think what was somewhat of a surprise was how much value there is in helping fans with the practical experience around the festival, right? I mean, I think that as an industry, we talk a lot about big ideas with AI, with personalization and things like that. I think we realized through this that if you could just make a fan's experience at that one weekend.
So just tell them where the bathrooms are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the bathrooms, the parking, food and beverage, set times, right?
Right.
If you can just reduce a little of that friction, create some efficiency, create communication through that Agentforce experience and quick answers to questions, that goes a long way in the overall experience for their weekend.
Amazing, amazing. Well, thank you so much for trusting us, for going on the journey.
Yeah.
We hope we can do it at maybe Lollapalooza, a few other festivals as well.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you being here with us, Sean.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Take care. All right, so I think the key here, and I think what you'll see through this whole keynote today, is that we are entering a new age. And I call this age the age of marketing makers. And it's this idea that everything that we've known, every customer experience, every channel that we've had, we kind of have to go back and think about it again. We've been doing things largely the same way for the better part of 20 or 25 years, and we kind of know how to optimize, and that's really all we've been doing is just little incremental optimizations. But this is bigger than that. It's time to start thinking about every marketing channel, every channel in general. A service channel can be a sales experience as well. And so this idea that we're all becoming makers is really, really important. Now, what that kind of translates to with these AI agents, with this new technology, is we're moving from a world where we were creating all of these assets ourselves, we were really the creators, to a world where we now have an opportunity to make AI agents that become creative partners with us, right? And if you've ever really sat down with an AI and started bouncing ideas off of it, once it gets connected into your systems and it can start pulling data down, you start to see this incredible experience of an explosion of creativity. You can move faster than you ever have before. And this is how we think it is going to multiply you. We think it is going to multiply your impact. And you're going to see a tremendous amount of technology today, from our new marketing goals agent to our content agent. You're going to see Qualified and Piper, Agentforce Coworker, just a huge amount of technology that you probably have not seen yet from Salesforce. And I think you're really going to like it. And of course, all of this technology is built on our unified platform with your trust layer and AI models at the bottom. Of course, open models, open data, your customer 360 applications, and then your surface area, Slack, headless, Agentforce, Tableau, sitting on top. So we have a lot to unpack for you here this morning. And to get us started, I want to look at our chapters here. We are going to walk through the age of marketing makers. We're going to walk through always-on creativity, self-optimizing campaigns, and then we're going to see Qualified and Piper working on autonomous pipe gen. And to get us started, I am excited to welcome our new VP, Janani. Janani, welcome.
Thank you, Patrick. Hello, marketers. So we all love a good insight, don't we? In fact, there is one right up there on the slide. 73% of marketers don't get the data support they need. There's just way too many dashboards, way too many metric definitions, and not enough data analysts to make sense of all of that. We're saying that in the age of marketing makers, that is not going to be a problem anymore. We envision that you will be empowered to unlock new creative opportunities, and you will be able to find answers to questions you were never able to do so by yourselves before. How are we going to do it? Well, imagine that you have access to an always-on creative partner, an always-on coworker that deeply knows you, understands your business, knows what metrics you care about, and never loses context and always know where to look. Yes, it sounds dreamy. And honey, if you're watching, take notes. But you know what? This is what our agents can offer you. And I'm so excited and thrilled to talk more about two of those agents. Agentforce Coworker, which we announced in beta recently. And think about it as a data analyst, a marketing strategist, a data engineer, all rolled into one. And secondly, Slackbot, which is available in GA today. And I may be biased, this is one of my most personal favorite agents, but we have proof in numbers. The highest adopters at at Salesforce of Slackbot have saved up to 20 hours per week. All right, so enough slideware for the day. Why don't we see both of these agents come together in action in a demo? I want to give a round of applause for our demo drivers of today, Gus and Ashley. All right, so here's the context. You are walking into an executive review, and your CMO is asking you a very important question. Why are my marketing-driven pipe numbers, the MDP numbers, down this quarter by 18%? Now, for folks that are external to Salesforce, MDP is a very critical measure of marketing contribution here at Salesforce, so this is not a small question. So now you are calling in your experts, and they are opening up 5 different tabs. There's Google Analytics on one tab, there's LinkedIn Campaign Manager, a Google spreadsheet that someone built 6 months ago, and also all of those Slack threads where all of this was discussed in a team discussion last week. So the data was always there, right? That was not the problem. The problem was to arrive at answers, and not any answer, one that would hold when your data-savvy CMO starts asking the second question, the third, and knowing Patrick, probably the fourth as well. So before you know it, it is a 2-3 week project. And by the time your team of experts have come up with the root cause and the recommendations, half the quarter has passed. This is the problem that we are setting out to solve for in this demo. We're going to empower you as marketers to be able to access all of that data that is scattered in silos, convert that data into insights, insights into action in a moment where it still matters. So we're going to start with unified intelligence. What you're looking at is a unified intelligence dashboard. So remember all of those 5 tabs we opened up? The Google Analytics, LinkedIn Campaign Manager, the spreadsheet, all of them now live under one roof. Now, there is something more important that's happening than bringing all of this into a single view. Now, any business metric that your organization cares about, MDP, for instance, you can codify that metric into the semantic layer that is powering up the dashboard. So what do I mean by codify into the semantic layer? Well, that only means that it's a fancy way of saying we have a shared data dictionary, we have a shared business context and an understanding of what that metric means. So every team, whether it is your paid media team or demand gen team, all operates out of that one single definition. And it is important because I can set that context once, and from there on, everyone and any agent accesses it and interprets it in exactly the same way. So keep this concept in mind because we're going to get to that in the demo in a little bit. All right, now even with all of this, we know that what has happened, but we don't know why, and we also, more importantly, do not know what to do next. So let's meet Agentforce Coworker. Now setting this up is a breeze. It is not an IT project. You can simply turn this on. It is included in your org, and you can use your flex credits to deploy Coworker. And once you've turned it on, it has access to all the Salesforce data in the ecosystem that it is grounded in. So let me take her for a spin. OK. We are now going to ask the same question that my CMO asked me. Our marketing-driven pipe numbers are down. Why? Now, take a note of what I did not do here. I did not define what MDP or marketing-driven pipe was. This is not an industry terminology, so how does it know? Remember, we had set the definition of MDP in the semantic layer. This agent is grounded in that very information, so it speaks the language of my business even before I've hit enter on this query. So let's take a look here. All right, looks like it is pulling campaign performance, pipeline opportunity data, also the relevant Slack discussions, which is good. It's looking at the conversion rates and how it has dropped from Q1 to Q2 because we explicitly mentioned that there was a decline in Q2. And here is a good summary of the rationale. So it seems like it is not channel specific, right? It looks like it is pretty much across the board. And every time we see a broad drop like that, it is indicative of something going on top of the funnel. It also gives me a few tactical reasons as to why that could be the case. So I want to also highlight the specificity here of the rationale it has brought me up, right? It is very tactical and extremely actionable, too. All right, so let's ask another follow-up questions. Now, the job is not to just know the why, right? The job is to fix it. And here's a real-world pressure. Finance called. And I've been asked to cut 15% of my marketing budget, campaign budget for the rest of the quarter. So I've asked coworker what are the programs I should cut and what I should protect. So it looks like it is building off of the diagnosis that it previously pulled in already. The joy of a live demo. We all get to enjoy a moment of silence together as coworker builds its case. Okay, so looks like it is giving me some programs to cut here, right? So these are my weak performers and lowest funnel output from these programs. And these are my programs to protect because this is essentially what is keeping the program up and running the pipe. Again, what I love about this recommendation is how specific, how surgical it is in its precision, right? And this is the kind of recommendation you can expect from a team of marketing experts and strategists. And they would have taken a couple of weeks to arrive at that. We did it in 2-3 minute stops. Yeah, I don't know about you guys. I feel like this is pretty darn awesome. Well done, coworker. Okay, now I want to switch gears a little bit here. Now, my team is not always on Salesforce surfaces, right? Everything you saw, coworker is on a Lightning interface. My team is on Slack. And this is where the work happens. This is where win-loss threats get discussed. This is where we hear from the field about what our customers are actually saying. So it's a very powerful place to be, a lot of context to have. So I'm going to ask Slackbot that I have a QBR coming up. Give me an executive summary of what's working, what's not, and what to do next, and also throw in a visualization while you are at it. Slackbot's thinking. So how's y'all's Wednesday going? You know, some people jump off airplanes for adrenaline rush. I do live AI demos in front of large audiences. All right, at this point, we have to imagine that Slackbot's pulling in data from Salesforce ecosystem, right? It is also reconciling that MDP definitions, and it is combining all the unstructured context it has. And it's pulling me up a QBR summary. So I want to take a moment here to appreciate what we were able to do in just a single conversation. We went from crunching our data, analyzing those numbers, unlocking all the business insights and impact, and putting it together in an executive summary, along with a visualization that will just pop up right now that was powered by Tableau. There you go. So none of these activities are bottlenecks anymore for you marketers, and this is exactly what we mean when we say marketing makers in action and how you can multiply your impact. So as I close out this demo, I want to leave you with this one last thing. Everything that you've seen so far, coworkers, Slackbot, all of them are powered by Anthropic Claude Opus models. Now, honestly, that's not the part that matters. The part that matters is it is all embedded in the products you all use and trust. And it is powered by the Salesforce platform and Salesforce trust layer, which means we guarantee zero data retention. There is governance, and it is all safe by default. And if you have Salesforce core products, you have Coworker. If you have Slack, you have Slackbot. So go turn them on today and go be a marketing maker in action. And with that, thank you. I want to bring up our next speaker, Leandro Perez, who is the CMO of Salesforce Australia and New Zealand. He's going to talk to us about self-optimizing campaigns. All yours, Leandro.
Another round of applause for Janani. Let's give it up. All right, g'day Chicago, looking good, golden hoodies, I love it, I love it. Well look, as Janani mentioned, in my role, I get to lead an incredibly talented group of marketers that are launching hundreds of campaigns every single year. So this chapter is very close to my heart. I also get to interact with CMOs and marketing practitioners every day, and lately they've been having a similar conversation, which is they're being asked to deliver more than ever before. The world is changing, right? It's changing fast. They're being asked to launch new campaigns, engage new audiences, crack open new markets. And as Patrick mentioned, We've got no shortage of ideas. Have you guys got shortage of ideas? No? Right? Like, we've got plenty of ideas. But the reality is launching those ideas from idea stage into reality takes months. In fact, when you dig under the covers, the reality is it's taking 12 to 14 weeks for an average campaign, over 100 touch points across all the individuals that are touching that campaign. Why is that? Why is that happening? Well, the reality is the stakes are high, like Patrick mentioned. Very high, in fact. Careers on the line, a lot of resources, CFOs or COFOs looking after the ROI, right? And so what's happening is that marketers are pulling in a lot of people to ensure they get it right. You want to check out the performance from the past? You bring in a data analyst. You want to launch on a paid campaign or a website? You're going to bring in the channel experts, maybe even an agency, COE, Center of Excellences. It's a lot. And that's why we ended up with this. But we know there's a better way. And that's why I'm so excited to announce 2 new agents. The Agentforce Marketing Goals Agent, which is going to let you build, execute, and my favorite, optimize campaigns once they're launched. And second, the Agentforce Content Agent, which is going to allow you to generate on-brand assets across every channel all at once. This is going to move us. This is going to completely change how we launch campaigns. It's going to enable us to become marketing makers working alongside agents. Now, we have an incredible customer called Formula One. You've probably heard of it. They are doing amazing things. In fact, they've been doing so well that they have close to 1 billion fans. That's right, with a B. I'm going to do a little test here. Who is a fan of Formula One? If you're able to, raise your hand. I know a few of you have watched Drive to Survive on Netflix. Have you, Patrick? Yes? Wow, it's a lot of us. Now, let me know a little secret. Less than 1% of their fans have actually been to a race. That smells like opportunity, right? Well, that's what the Formula One marketing team wants to do. They want to launch campaigns to engage with these audience, to monetize them, right? They want to get them to a race, they want to sell merchandise, or their premium subscription offering, F1 TV. And that's what we're going to show. But before we do that, I know a few of you are thinking, come on, Leandro, that's a big brand. That's not going to resonate with how we run marketing in my team. But they've actually only got 1,000 employees worldwide, and the marketing team's under 100. So while not small, when you think about their scale, that's lean. So we're going to showcase a visionary demo of how they're dramatically changing how they launch campaigns. Now, to help me do that, I want to welcome back the demo drivers, and no pun intended here, they are going to drive the demo. Let's give a round of applause to Ashley and Abby. All right. Now, folks, bear with me. I always wanted to be a Formula One driver, and this is the closest I'm going to get to it. So give me a moment here as 4,000 people watch me put on a suit, jacket. Here we go. It's a good time to see product placement. Are you seeing the F1 on the back there? All right. Let's do this. We're going to start off in Slack. Oh, no, round of applause. Okay, sure. Does it look all right? Thanks, Mum. Okay. So we're going to kick this off, this visionary demonstration, right here in Slack. Now, like most organizations, they plan in quarters. They plan in advance, right? This is how all of the marketing team aligns with their stakeholders across those 1,000 employees, right? The races they've kind of come up, the audiences, the on-brand messages, the assets. That's how they align all of that. But I know, you know, that quarterly plans don't age well, right? In fact, Formula One has 24 races throughout the year. Every 2 weeks, they have a new race. This team has to be agile. They have to move. They've got to pivot. And here what you're seeing is that Ashley is a campaign marketer at Formula One, has been given the task of launching the British Grand Prix. But she's been given one extra task, which is, can you help increase Formula One TV subscriptions? They've been a little bit soft from her leader. All right, so what she's going to do here is do this in Slack. But this is in the past. I'm just going to echo the pain. In the past, she would have spun up a whole host of meetings, right, to sync with all those folks, maybe create some tickets to pull some data like Janani mentioned. That's a lot of work. But that is in the past. Now, all she needs to do is mention the new goals agent. Now, before we jump in, I'm just highlighting, we're doing this in Slack, but thanks to Headless 360, like Patrick mentioned, you can do this in Teams or your favorite coding agent, Claude. All right, all she needs to do is give the goals agent the task. Here's the brief. Here's the audience I want to target, North America and Western Europe, thanks to time zones. And also give it the budget, and we're off to the races. Now look at this. It's interesting. The agents come back and said, hey, Ash, Do you want to include Australia? Like last time, and look at that beautiful Tableau viz right there in Slack. Last time, they had a 3 times higher baseline than the average audience. She completely missed this. Now, I know why. We had Oscar Piastri, our homegrown hero in there. We woke up in the night to watch him. Unfortunately, he lost to Lando, his teammate, but hopefully this year he'll have a better chance. But that's an amazing capability there, and she got that instantly. All right, she says, that sounds great. Let's keep going. Now, let's see what the agent comes back with now. All right, so normally forecasting is hard. Here, the agent has recommended 10.3% uplift to subscriber campaign. She's down. That sounds amazing. Let's do that. So let's go ahead. All right, so the agent now is creating the campaign. So what does that mean? It's going off to the Formula One CDP, right, which is grounded on all of F1's data, Data 360. So it's pulling in historical campaigns, it's building the journeys, the SMSs, the emails, based on the engagement rates of those fans in the past. It's doing a lot of work that historically would have taken days. And just like that, the first object there, the campaign object, is done. This is now the single source of truth for that campaign. Now, again, as mentioned, this is a high-stakes game, so she wants to check in with her manager, and she uses the Slack workflow right there to send it. Now, her manager says, it looks great. Okay, amazing, let's keep going. So Ashley now wants to pull in her creative lead, Hannah, to keep working with this and bring in all the assets. Now, she doesn't have to have another sync, because she can do that right here and pass that along. And Hannah's going to be able to work in the second new agent that I mentioned, the content agent. But no briefing is required because all of that information is maintained in that object. So let's go ahead and take a look at the content agent here. Now, this is a brand new interface. It's really cool. And what, as I mentioned, all that history comes across in the campaign object. Because she's used the brand before, now all of that's loaded. So everything that will be generated will be on brand. So all she needs to do is ask, hey, create the content for the British Grand Prix, and let's go. Now, I don't know how many of you are creative folks, like literally hands-on tools, but this in the past would have been a lot of manual plumbing, right? Copying and pasting into SMSs, email, resizing images. I'm sure no one woke up in the morning and wanted to do this work, right? So the content agent has actually done all of this, and it looks beautiful. So what Hannah can focus on, I think I heard a clap over there, that's incredible. So I think, yes, wow, incredible, I love it. So what's happening here is Hannah can focus on what's really important, tweak those hooks to engage the audience, maybe bring in an image of Oscar or her favorite driver that's been winning throughout the race, and incredible. Now, she wants to do one more thing, which is Ashley asked her to add, this is the curveball, add a discount offer for anyone that has previously subscribed and lapsed because they had quality issues with the stream. So all she needs to do is ask the agent, and it's going to do that. Now, I'm going to pause here because this is pretty cool. What's happening here is the agent's gone to the CDP, worked out who has signed up, who's raised a ticket through customer support, and then who's lapsed, and they're in that audience segment. That's a lot, right? I know some of you are thinking, well, surely you can do this on ChatGPT or another creative studio. You can't, because it's not grounded in all of Formula One's data. It's truly incredible. All right, with that, we're going to go past to Ash. Let's go. Okay, this campaign's ready to go, right? But the humans are always in control. So she wants to make a few last-minute touches. She's going to turn on WhatsApp, because she's heard it's done really well in Europe. But remember, her name's on the line. She's got budget that she wants to ensure is deployed. So she's going to set a threshold. If the click-through rate is under 3%, let's pause the campaign so I can come in and check on it. Okay. Once again, this campaign's ready to go. But I mentioned in the beginning, the agent doesn't just build and execute. It optimizes. So this is where Ash can set the guardrails. Is she comfortable with the agent updating the audience, the content, the channels? She's comfortable with all of it, but because budget's involved, she doesn't want the agent mucking around with the channels. So let's turn that off. All right, just like that, we're ready to rock. Let's activate the campaign. We're bringing a little bit of energy here, right? It's Formula One, after all. Okay, this is the moment that most campaign marketers would move on to the next task. They don't always have time to check in on it, or if they did, they'd have to pull a whole bunch of reports, right? That's going to take time. But you know what's cool? Right here, that agent, it's been working 24/7 behind the scenes. And in fact, let's look at that. Oh, wow, we've got a notification from the goals agent saying it's almost 90% of the way to goal, but it's bumped into one of those guardrails. It's saying, if I turn off SMS and go all in on WhatsApp, I think we're going to hit the goal. And so she says, that sounds like a great idea. Let's do that. Okay. With that, folks, I just wanted to highlight That's the end of my lap with the Formula One marketing team. I know it was great with the jacket and all, but it's Formula One. I had to go fast. But what I really want to emphasize is a couple of things. Firstly, everything that you saw here today is generally available except for the agents, but they're in pilot right now. So if you want to get your phone out and scan that QR code, if you're interested in joining the pilot, you can do that. But I just want to ground us back on what we just saw because it's pretty game-changing, right? We just enabled the Formula One marketing team and now all of you to dramatically change how you're going to launch campaigns. And as Patrick mentions, this is going to allow you to experiment more often, lower the risk, right? Which is going to bring us back to being creative, which is what I know you all want to do. Now, I've got one more really cool announcement that I want to make before I leave the stage, which is earlier in the week, we signed a definitive agreement to acquire Contentful. Yes, let's give that a round of applause. Now, some of you may not know what Contentful is, so let me just give you a quick beat. They are the leading composable content management platform and headless CMS. That's a mouthful, all right? So let me just quickly unpack what that means. So basically, if you think about assets, headlines, content, images, historically they're locked in a container, a web page, a blog, or a mobile app. Now, marketers are going to be able to change these things, the assets, what we care about, without any IT or gatekeepers. So now they're going to be able to scale all their creativity, really make them makers, as Patrick introduced, at scale. So with that, I'm going to introduce the next speaker, which is going to take us through the third chapter, building autonomous pipe gen, and I can think of no one better to do this than the CMO of Qualified, Maura Rivera. Let's give it up for Maura.
Okay. Thank you, Leandro. Vroom, vroom. Let's go. I know we're at the end, but we have a lot of innovation to show you guys. So raise your hand if you're a B2B marketer. Okay? Now keep your hand raised if you've ever said, I have too much pipeline. Nobody, no B2B marketer ever feels like they have too much pipeline, and we all feel this pain. We're doing all of these things designed to drive inbound interest. We're doing events like Connections, we're doing campaigns like that F1 campaign we just saw, but we can't get buyers into our pipeline fast enough. And why is that? We have these old processes. We're reliant on humans to follow up. It's simply a broken process. But in this age of the marketing maker that we're talking about, where we have agents who work for us, there has to be a new way to generate pipeline, and that's where Qualified comes in. So Qualified is the newest addition to the Salesforce portfolio. We are so excited to be here with you guys today. We have a ton of customers in the room, and we're designed to help B2B marketers generate pipeline in an entirely new way. And our product is Piper. We named her Piper because she generates pipeline, and she is an AI SDR agent who goes to work for you as the marketer. Now, when you think about Piper, think about her like your best human SDR. She's fast, she's personable, she's responsive, she's on message, and Piper goes across the channels that matter to you as a marketer. She works on the corporate website, she works in the email inbox, and she is on a mission to generate pipeline. And I know what you're thinking, like, Maura, okay, this sounds great, this sounds great, this sounds like a vision. We heard from Patrick that Salesforce.com is doing it. We have over 700 customers today, and 100% of our customers are live in production. Every single customer who buys Qualified goes live within 45 days. This is really like an easy button to get started with agentic marketing. I talk to CMOs all the time. I want to transform my organization, but where do I begin? You start at the front door of your company. Start on your website. Have an agent who's there to greet all of your buyers. One of our incredible customers, along the likes of customers like Okta and Box and Cloudflare and all these incredible enterprises, is Adecco. Now, Adecco is the world's largest staffing and recruiting company, and they have a really big B2B arm. So they have employers, and they go to the Adecco website, and they're trying to figure out, how can I grow my workforce with Adecco? I want to use their recruiting services, their staffing services, and Adecco is using an AI SDR agent to bring those buyers into their pipeline. Now, the cool thing is, I mentioned Piper, our girl. We called her Piper because she generates pipeline, but all of our customers, they personify their agent to best match their brand. So Adecco actually named their agent Echo. And today, we're going to show you a live product demo and show you Echo go to work. We're going to show you how she goes to work on the website across every modality: text, voice, video. This is the future of how you engage buyers. We're going to show you how Echo can follow up with leads right in the email inbox and book meetings and generate pipeline 24/7. Then we're going to zoom out, and we're going to show you how you as a marketer can keep a real-time pulse on this agent's performance. So who wants to see a demo? I would love to introduce Katie O'Neill. Katie is on our marketing team, and she advises, she advises customers like Adecco every single day on their agentic strategy. So Katie, let's show the demo.
Thank you, Maura. And that wasn't loud enough. Are you guys excited to see a live qualified demo? All right, so for this demo, we're gonna follow the journey of an inbound buyer. Her name is Maya Reyes. She is the Director of Workforce Strategy at Vantage Clinical Solutions, and she's in the market for a staffing and workforce solution, so she's naturally on the Adecco website. Now, when she arrives, look at this. This is Echo, Adecco's AI SDR agent. She's ever present, she's always there. She's greeting Maya, ready to work her and convert her into pipeline. Now, the moment Maya arrived on the website, Echo went to work immediately. She went into all of her go-to-market systems, including Salesforce, to identify any information she has about this inbound buyer. For now, she doesn't know it's Maya, but she does know it's someone from Vantage Clinical Solutions. So she's gonna work to qualify this buyer and get Maya into her pipeline. So as Maya is scrolling around on the website, Echo can see what Maya can see, and she can even take her places around the site. So we'll jump in and see that in action. Now, if Maya has a question, of course she could type via text to Echo. That's table stakes. But the future of agent interactions, like Maura mentioned, it's voice and video. So when Maya's ready, she can click to speak with Echo.
Hi, how can I help you?
Hey, Echo, I need to scale a team of clinical trial coordinators for a study we're launching in Q3. Now, we've used staffing firms in the past. What makes Adecco uniquely different?
Let's take a look at our Adecco Advantage slide. It highlights 8 key strengths: global scale, end-to-end solutions, digital innovation, specialized talent, future-ready upskilling, cost optimization, robust compliance, and social impact. What's the biggest priority for your team in this clinical trial project?
Okay, how cool is that? Just like your best human SDR, Echo has all of this great content at her fingertips. She can navigate Maya to a different page on the website. She can show her a live slide right here on the website. This is a really incredible experience for any buyer. So what I want to do is I actually want to throw Echo a quick curveball. Now, Adecco, they're a global brand. They have a huge footprint in France, and so it's really important that their agent can engage with any buyer in any language. So let's throw Echo a quick curveball and see how she handles it. Echo, parlez-vous français?
Bien sûr, je peux parler français. Dites-moi simplement ce dont vous avez besoin pour ce projet et je suis là pour vous aider. Quel est l'aspect le plus important à gérer pour vous en ce moment?
Okay, total dream SDR behavior. That's amazing. Echo speaks every single language. I want to repeat that. Echo speaks every single language. So she can detect that language live in the conversation. No other human SDR can do that. So again, for Adecco as a global brand, really, really important. Okay, now we'll jump back over into the conversation with Echo. Hey, Echo, super cool. Let's stick to English for now, but can you tell me a little bit more about pricing?
Pricing depends a lot on each customer's unique situation. I can send you more details by email. What's the best email to use? You can also type it into the chat for accuracy.
Now, Echo knows a question around pricing indicates high intent, and so she's going to work to qualify this buyer. She's asking for the email address. Now, in this case, maybe Maya actually wants to get ready and book a meeting with her account executive. Hey, Echo, could I actually book a meeting?
We're almost there. Let's get your details first. Could you share your email address so we can move forward?
So once again, she needs to make sure I'm qualified, and so Maya can provide her email address right here to Echo within the conversation.
Let's go ahead and book a meeting with one of our representatives. Feel free to choose a time that works best for you, and we'll take it from there.
Okay, so what we just saw Echo do. Echo took Maya's email address, she looked inside Salesforce, she found the Vantage Clinical Solutions account and saw that Sam Raskin is the enterprise account executive aligned to that account. So she presented Maya with this calendar booker right here on the website. Now I want to pause. This is a pivotal moment. This room is full of marketers. This is a dream scenario. You hope this buyer books this meeting. We also all know buyers. And oftentimes buyers are busy. And in fact, many might leave the website without converting. So Maura, as a CMO, you have felt this pain. What happens if Maya leaves the website without converting into a meeting?
Yes, this hurts my heart, and I know we all know this pain, right? We're doing all of this stuff, we get this buyer on the hook, but we can't quite get them converted. And let's look at the old way that we would follow up with these buyers. We would put them in a lead queue, a human would follow up with them hours, if not days later. On average, it takes B2B companies 42 hours to follow up with an inbound lead. At that point, Maya's gone. She's on with her day, she's connected with another vendor, you just lost that opportunity. But in this age of AI and the age of the marketing maker, there has to be a better way. And it's really critical that these agents are not just working on the website, but the same agents working in the email inbox so they can do that immediate follow-up. So Katie, show us what that looks like.
Yeah, let's jump right into Maya's email inbox. And what you can see is Echo is right there. Look at that email right away. She's on this mission to get Maya into pipeline. So we can see is, I want to look at this email carefully. This is not pre-canned. This is not templated. This is entirely bespoke to the conversation they had live on the website. Echo is referencing those key discussion points. Echo's also surfacing up additional content to pull Maya down the funnel. Now, many buyers, they might reply. Maya might have a few more questions for Echo before she's ready to continue. Echo is fully multi-turn in the email inbox. And so what we'll see is Echo can reply right here in the inbox to Maya. Now, what we can see is Echo's training starts to come in place. She again knows she can't give out that specific pricing detail, so she's gonna provide Sam Raskin's calendar here. So in just a few clicks, Echo makes it really easy for Maya to book this time. Amazing. So we got that meeting on the calendar. Pipeline has just been generated. Echo just generated pipeline for Adecco completely autonomously. So Maura, if we quickly recap what we just saw with Echo, Echo engaged with Maya on the website. She answered technical questions. She showed a slide on the website. She qualified and converted this buyer. And the best part is, everything Echo did with this single buyer, she can do for tens of thousands of buyers all at once.
Awesome, Katie. I want to talk about configuration, because this is the dream, right? This is the dream experience we'd provide to all of our inbound buyers. But what's going through, I'm sure, all of your heads right now is like, okay, how easy is this to set up? I said 45 days. Do I have to use IT resources, engineering resources? In this new world, the marketer needs to be in control. That's critical. We're control freaks as marketers. We've got to be able to control this agent and manage this agent. So Katie, show us what the back end looks like.
Let's jump into the Qualified Studio. So here in the back end of the Qualified Studio, this is where you onboard and enable your agents. So what you can see is you can actually give it a personal name. You can even customize the avatar. You can even customize the voice. We want to make sure this is really authentically on brand. Now, jumping over into guides, this is where we want to give the agent some information on your company, key messaging, make sure that they're accurate when they're answering questions. Now, I'm going to click into conversations, and this is my favorite part, and here's why. Marketers are back in control. This is where marketers define what the agent does. When does the agent qualify a buyer? When does the agent serve up content? When does the agent book a meeting? And look at this. This is all natural language, no coding required. This is that simple. This is why our customers are going live on average in 45 days. So Maura, super excited for our customers to get our hands on this.
Super exciting. But you know what matters more than configuration? Back to the original question, it's pipeline. So when I think about putting these agents into production, it's really critical that I can see that they're generating pipeline for me. When I go to my board meeting every single quarter, that's the metric that I have to report on. And in the old world, I would have to ask my marketing operations person, can you build a report, a dashboard, but in this new world, with Slack, I can just go in and I can ask Slackbot. And I could say, hey, how am I tracking against my inbound pipe gen target for the quarter? And what Slackbot's doing, it's pulling all of my structured CRM data, all of my Tableau analytics, and check this out. I have this information at my fingertips. I can see I'm tracking really well against my target of $41 million. I can see that Echo, my AI SDR agent, she's generated $14 million in pipeline from me, and I can put a campaign in place to make sure that I close this gap. So this is really what the future of pipe gen looks like. And we saw a ton of stuff in this demo. Thank you, Katie, for the incredible demo about how you generate pipeline autonomously. So today we looked at Piper, the AI SDR agent. It's all GA right now. And we'd love to invite you guys to head over to the campground afterwards. You can see Piper in action. You can talk with her. You can also see our new prospecting agent, Hunter, to see really what the future of pipe gen looks like in the age of the marketing maker. So Patrick, back to you.
Amazing. Okay, so we're going to get you out of here in a second, but first of all, thank you again to Maura, to Katie, to Leandro, our F1 driver, to Jenny, to all of our demo drivers. Thanks so much. I think that was a lot of fun. I want to leave you with 3 things to do as you leave here today to think about. Number 1 is, Jenny said it, you have Agentforce Coworker, you have Slackbot. Most likely, if you don't, come and talk to us, but if you've got any Salesforce products or Slack, you have these tools. Go turn them on today. They can help you become a marketing maker. 2, start using Agentforce Marketing. A lot of the technology that you saw today is in Agentforce Marketing. And 3, get qualified on your website. Hopefully we made that entirely clear. You can call it whatever you want. You can call it Piper. You can call it Echo, although Adecco might be mad. Call it Patrick if you want to. That'll be fine, whatever you want. We have what I think is actually one of the best events that we have put together in a long time. We've got 2 days here with you today. We've got a bajillion sessions that you can go and speak. We've got the freaking Smashing Pumpkins, which is going to be awesome. If you're about the same age as me, you were kind of at the peak of puberty in your parents' house, sliding Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness into your CD player. It was awesome. We've got Foster the People. We've got the OG herself, Martha Stewart, and we've got one of the most creative and insane people on the planet, Alex Honnold. That's going to be awesome tomorrow. So, an amazing event. Hopefully you all had fun. We'll see you around through the rest of the week. On your way out, I have one ask, which is scan this QR code. We're going to leave it up. Scan it. Give us feedback. We take the feedback really seriously. We're always trying to get better. So have an amazing week, and thank you so much.